Hey folks, this is Ben Gessel. It's the third video I'm making here this evening. Just having a light dinner of some guacamole with crab cakes. I had two of them. Only had one of them already, and then a sausage. I might have some other stuff, but anyway, I wanted to make this video about. I might be eating intermittently during this video. I do apologize, but hopefully, at least this can make you guys hungry for some healthy food. See, I got some plant foods in there, so it is healthy, I promise. This is a healthy sausage, I promise. It's my mom. So, but anyway, nothing's really hot here, so I can wait for a bit. So I was sometimes I get when I get responses to some comments I've made on various YouTube videos. Most of them are pretty benign these days. It used to be more of an even split of negative and positive. Increasingly, it's actually more positive, or it's benign, or it's addressed to someone else. Yeah, I always get the ones that are actually addressed to someone else, and I'm like, but it's not really too distracting from what I'm doing. Oh, I don't know. Sometimes it's interesting. It's always a question of there's something that someone else, if someone responds to someone else on YouTube in the same comment thread, is it something that you'll want to respond to or not? Sometimes you do, sometimes not. Some people don't like it if you respond to a comment that was addressed to someone else. Other people don't mind so much. It all depends. So anyway, but I've gotten some, there's all kinds of negative comments, as you guys know, and I've talked about this before. Maybe I've talked about this more than most, but there's an idea that hip hop and R&B, well, hip hop and rap folks that are whatever, that they're just as good as musicians, according to this person I've been talking to about sampling music things. So these guys are just as legitimate as very highly trained classical and jazz and musicians and guys in film and even some rock guys and things that have some serious chops in their instruments and are serious composers, serious film composers. There's no difference, right? There's no difference between these top 40 pop guys that have very little skill in my estimation. And when I say top 40 pop, I mean more recent top 40 pop. I'm not talking about the older stuff that is actually, you're talking about real singer-songwriters, real musicians that, like Lionel Richie, he's a real musician. You guys know who I'm talking about regarding not real musicians or entertainers, basically. There's a difference. Some people think they're all the same. They're not. I wasn't even in college when I understood the difference. If you take music lessons of any sort, you should quickly realize who real musicians are and who they're not. That's because of the amount of effort and practice and sheer natural talent and all kinds of other stuff, like the parents putting money into lessons. Anybody who works really hard at something, the skill level they attain is quite a bit higher, often astronomically higher, than someone who just gets a lucky break with the record deal or producers or whatever and is marketable, right? In some respect. No, they're not real musicians. And it shouldn't take someone who has a college degree in music to explain this to anyone. And these knuckleheads just don't seem to understand this concept. And when you sample something, so people say, there would be all kinds of lawsuits if someone sampled stuff without someone's permission. I have no idea how many people are sampling stuff with permission or without permission or whatever. All I know is that if somebody does not actually create the music, or if someone can perform, like you have performers that perform or sing or whatever someone else's songs, that's just fine. It's like you just give credit to the songwriter and whatever. But if there's music if all someone does is just possess and own the music, and they combine it with other music, is that music? Is that music their own? No. No. There's a difference between, I mean, you can get all technical and legal and everything, but the thing is there's real music written, composed, performed by real musicians, and then there's fake music that either is some hodgepodge of different pieces pieced together in whatever way, or there's with rap and hip hop, to be honest, the nature of that music, if you want to define it as music or not, the problem is that it's not as musical. It doesn't have as much to do with pitch. It often does, but it's repetitive and it's not really the focal point of what it's all about, at least with rap, And it just depends on from song to song. It all depends. But what it is it's right. It's poetry, but it's not poetry. I don't like using the word poetry even, because poetry is not rough like rap, but it rhymes and it's but it's semi-music really. It's only partly music, to be quite honest. And then you could say, well, music is just sound. And if you get into the avant-garde thing and you just accept all sound as being music, okay, it's still music, sure, but it's a very different kind of music than what a lot of people consider to be music. Me personally, to me, it's only half music. It's only partly music. It's not real. It's not fully 100% music. Real music is classical music, film music, jazz, and sacred music, and even rock. And there's a spectrum. And country is still real music. Folk music is real music, and all kinds of other stuff like that. World music is still real music. When you start getting to a point where it's you're leaving out more and more elements. So no harmony or no melody. There's no rhythm. There's no. It's kind of more brainless. There's very few elements involved. But it's more especially than that. It didn't take a lot of skill to create this music. I'm inclined to see that it's only partly music or half music. It's not really 100%. I don't view it the same way as other stuff. But you can take a Gregorian chant type piece and it's just one melody, a single pitch, song. It's still music. You're still involving rhythm on some level. You're still involving pitch on some level, and there's melody. There might not be harmonies, but you also have the timbre of the voice you're talking about, as well as the lyrics. It's real music. It might not be as complex as some other music. It might not be as impressive, but it's still real music. But I don't know why I need to explain this stuff to some people, and I don't know why people defend sampled music. You have people on YouTube that put out music for free, for the good of the listeners, and they are amazing folks that do this. That's an understatement. They need donations. They need money. They are deserving of money, these channels. And then what people have been doing is they're taking this music and they're sampling it. I don't know if they're selling it or not. I hope they're not, because I don't understand the law, but I think that's getting into the illegal range. But it's ridiculous, it's stupid. It's immoral. And so I can't emphasize this enough. And you have actually people that are just trying to defend this stuff. It's mind blowing. It's absolutely mind blowing. I mean, it's mind blowing how someone can defend that. If people legitimately have legal rights to use music, that's fine. That's one thing. But if they don't, they don't. And even if those people that have the legal rights to sample music and combine it all, that sort of thing, I still have the right personally to see those folks that do that as not being real musicians. But that's my right. It's my right as a human being. I don't have to listen to their stuff, even though they're not in trouble with the law. Okay, if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below, by all means, for any of my videos. Whether I say it or not, please, by all means, comment on them. All right, talk to you guys later. Thanks. Bye.